Right, welcome everyone to another episode of the Love Island cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and today I am not joined by Mr. Dave Horrocks. I'm joined by our special guest again, Joe from I Secretly Recorded My Boyfriend podcast. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Thank you very much. I'm your stand-in Dave.
Probably better than Dave, but anyway, no.
Poor Dave.
I can get these digs in when he's not here. He'll get me back. Don't worry. No, thank you for coming on again, Joe. And honestly, it was so positive when you were on a few weeks ago, and everyone was asking when you were coming back on. So I'm really pleased that you agreed to come back on and do the show with us.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, and I've always got a lot to say, Chris. So let's do it.
Let's go. So, Joe, what do you want to talk about first?
Oh, God. I feel like, shall we get it out of the way? The big question, is the whole bloody series staged?
I'm trying not to make it a long episode, but we might be here for some time on this one. Yes. I think some of the scenarios are, but it's becoming more and more like Tower. When they're in the villa, I think when they're just organically sat around the pool and stuff like that, they might get a nudge here and there saying, go and have a talk with them or whatever. But when they're acting normal, which we do see in the unseen bits, that's fine. But this club scene last night was absolutely awful. It was just the way it was filmed, the dynamic, you could just see it was just, it was terrible. What did you think of just everything to do with that scenario?
Do you know what? It's just getting more and more obvious that either there are actors in the back scenes or they have told one of the Love Islanders to set somebody aside and you say this and you say this. The biggest thing for me over the last couple of episodes has been this Anton in the supermarket allegedly giving his number off just because he wanted to a checkout assistant, and then Tommy telling Molly, who for me had been told by the producers to ask Tommy what happened on the shopping trip, and Anna, it seemed to me, had been asked to push Jordan what had been happening on the shopping trip. None of it seemed like a normal conversation. I felt like they've just been shopping. Why are you pushing what happened? What happened? Tell me what happened. They've just been on a bloody shopping trip. Now, for me, they had all been told what to say to their partners. And it's such a setup that I hate them all for being involved in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course I do. I mean, Sam, my wife, had said the other day when Ovi was sat with Amber on the date and Anna was with Jordan, that the way he speaks when he's on these sort of set-up meetings, like a date or these little talks, he doesn't speak as naturally and he doesn't flow as much as when he's just messing around, like whether making food or he's dancing or he's just being himself. She said it felt like he was reading something. And I remember going back and David, and I agree. I mean, come on, Joe, it's ridiculous. I've done, I don't know about yourself, but I've done extra work and I've been on Coronation Street a few times as an extra. No, I'm not name dropping or dropping it in there. Don't worry. You literally saw a silhouette of me and my nose is big enough anyway, so you could see me in the background. And a couple of times I was in shot, you're thinking, it is. This is the big one. Get the family all involved and everything, and you literally see an arm or a shoulder. But what they would do is, I've got a friend of mine who still does it, and he's been in Corrie quite a lot recently, which is unusual because usually they say every 6 weeks you're not allowed to come on for 6 weeks because of continuity, unless there's a gentleman who works in the bistro at the moment, a mate of mine called Michael, and he actually is working as a waiter there and he keeps coming in the background for continuity. Now, he's obviously just getting a regular slot at the moment, which does happen sometimes, but to actually use the same girl who caused a big fuss you give the number to then serve drinks behind the bar for this supposed nightclub, which I'm still calling out that DJ was not doing anything other than pretending to spin a few CDs. I was having none of it.
Worst club ever. No one else was in there. Music not very loud, so we could still hear everybody else's microphone. Using pretty much the same set as the actual villa. Worst club ever.
I actually think it was Casa Amor that they took him.
Maybe it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was on you, and there was a great aerial shot of him supposedly dancing, and you can see that Amber loses a thought like a concentration fort and sort of stops dancing and goes, oh shit, I better go again. I better start moving. And she starts like rocking away, but it looks so ridiculous. I mean, I believe the Belle and Anton thing when she was kicking off, but I just, because of the fact that the girl was serving them, you're just like, she must be a good actor. I just don't get it. I think her emotions are correct. I just don't know. Why couldn't one of the lads have said, well, that's the same girl? It's obviously, if the reason they don't bring it up is because they are paid extras. And I actually question now whether she's even English, whether she's even Spanish, that girl, to be honest.
Oh, I totally agree. And I think that I feel like some of it feels really natural. Like when Belle and Anton, when he first told her, and she was like, oh, well, it's okay, isn't it? It's no big deal. Why are you telling me? I don't understand. Almost like, well, you were just having bants. It's fine. I feel like that felt really natural and really normal.
Yeah.
And then when they had the big showdown at the amazing club around the corner, when they had the amazing showdown, that for me felt like she was like a young Gemma Collins. She was coming out with lines, and I thought, oh my God, she's like GC. Yeah. She's just like her. And I thought, this feels weird. And then 10 minutes later, they're stood there finding out as a couple whether they were leaving or not, and they've got their arms around each other and they're semi-okay again. And this is why it's all started to feel like none of it is genuine anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And I think, I tell you what really got my goat more than anything was when Amber pulled Michael and she's talking to him. That was definitely a nudge, wink, to say, I think Joanna's going, because we've got Michael and Joanna in the bottom two. Michael's not going anywhere. She's going to manoeuvre a bit of drama between Amber and Michael. One last hooray, because I still think Ovi's the man for Amber. I really do. I think he's a great guy, and there's such lovely chemistry that I just think the alleged girl code is going to be there. Like there's supposed to be guy code. I always call it out, but I just think that she's being a friend to Anna, and there is probably something there, which May and Dave said this, it might happen outside the show, and he's right. But I just think you're creating something, and everyone afterwards was going, she's only pulled Michael to say this, because 5 minutes later, them two are in the bottom two, and it's a choice, and it's like, oh, come on now, it's so obvious what's just happened. Yeah.
That's my problem is, like, I get that they got to make good telly, right? I get all that. And I've got no problem with them nudging people in the right direction or whatever it is they have to do. But this series, and I've never felt it before with Love Island, this series absolutely feels like Maura's been told to go after Curtis, and Amber's been told to keep pursuing Michael, and Anna's been told to do this, that, and the other to fuck everyone off. Yeah. It really feels like I'm questioning where the genuine ones are. I mean, I really am. And it absolutely feels like, shit, nothing's happening. Force something to happen. Quick, somebody force something. Now, for me, tonight is going to be a really interesting one, because I'm guessing that the Islanders have got to make the decision between Michael and Joanna. Now, what I want to happen, but I don't think will, but what I want to happen is I want Michael to stand up there before anyone makes a choice and say, choose me. I want to go. I don't want to stay in this villa without Joanna. I know you all think there's no chemistry, but I really like her, so I'm putting my hands up and I want to go.
Yeah.
Will that happen, Chris? No.
Will it, bollocks? It will not happen, Joe. It's not going to happen, because they're all thinking of them okay deals at the end of this run. He's only got a few weeks left, haven't they? It's about 10 days now. So
yeah.
You are so correct, Joe. So correct. And I think I did say this. I think I've lost a bit of respect for Tommy, whether it's an engineered manoeuvre by the producers, which I think as we talk about it, you're absolutely correct. I think we're both on the same wavelength. But he's just somebody. I said it the other day. You are getting sent down if he comes with you to a police station. You get questioned. He's just going to grass you up straight away. And I want Ovi and Amber to win now, because I like Ovi a lot. I still like Tommy, but I just think Molly May just does not convince me one bit that she's genuine. There's not one iota of what she does, but I believe is true, to be honest.
There was a scene last night where Tommy and her were kissing, and I think he then went to kiss her cheek after they'd had a little kiss on the lips and the look of disgust on her face. I was like, oh God, do you even, like, this just could have been one of those random shots, and who knows what's happening to anybody's face while they're kissing. But I just thought, I don't know if you even like him. Like, she does not look like a woman in love. That is for sure. But what's interesting is last Thursday, with the radio station I work for, we had a Love Island viewing party. And I asked every single person there who they wanted to win. And every single person there said Tommy and Molly. Yeah. And they were banging to it. And it was almost like if they weren't that keen on Molly, because people liked Tommy so much, they just wanted him to win. Now, whether that's changed after last night, I don't know, because I agree with you. My perception of Tommy changed a bit over the last couple of episodes, actually. I just think, bore off, mate. Bore off. Like, you're a crap actor. You might be a really nice guy, and I believe he is a nice guy, but he's a crap actor, and he ain't doing anything to make me want him win anymore.
No, he's not. I think you're on the money here, Joe, to be honest. It's exactly it's funny because I get called out by Dave and everyone else about how I'm on and off different people's trades. Like, I was on the Mora trade and then I was off it, and various other people. But I think as it's come on, like you say, Dave always says this. He says, you cannot act for this long, for 5 or 6 weeks. You cannot be this rigid. I know they're only editing, an hour show as such. Mm. But when you watch the unseen bits, they all seem like they're genuinely nice people. And it's like I'm all for the drama. This is what Love Island's about. Like I've said it before, if I don't see someone getting a drink thrown over their head or whatever, someone kicking off and the security has to get involved, then really, we've not had that this series. It's not an episode of Love Island. But surely show something human-like it showed on the I don't know if you saw the unseen one, Joe. Did you see it?
I've not seen any of the unseen bits, no.
Well, it was quite interesting because this week the lads are all there talking about Harry Potter, because obviously they're all early to mid-20s and they're all talking about like the spells, and it sounds really ridiculous. And then they had a Harry Potter, like, I don't know, talking about Harry Potter off as like a bit of a standoff, and they were all doing stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they were doing stuff like that, and then they were messing about in the pool, and then it showed, which I called out on the thing, Craig David got literally 10 seconds airtime last Monday. They built it up like it was the return of Craig David and all. I know he's a big DJ now and he's a big fitness guru and stuff. And then it showed it properly. He did all his tracks. He had them all dancing. He interacted with them. And it's like, why did you let that go to the unseen bit? It would have made more sense to show a bit of human beings acting and being friends and stuff. It just, so you're so right, it polarizes everyone, because the opinion all the time of it, this series has just been attack, it's drama, attack, arguments. You know, it's, no, they are going to be there and enjoying themselves because they're in there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You see, for me, we've got 2 weeks to go, or less than 2 weeks to go now. Now we're ready for actual love. Now we're actually ready to see people who really like each other. Well, because of everything that's happened so far, I don't believe any of them. And it's weird because people say, oh, do you like this person? Do you not like this person? And I know you've been called out a lot for what you've said about Anna in the past. Yeah. But I really liked Anna to start. She was my absolute favourite at the start of this series. And then I proper hated her for how she was being and how hypocritical she was. I mean, including last night when Anton said about Belle, that's it, I'm done. And she goes straight in and says what Anton's said. But now I can't genuinely answer the question, do I like Anna, don't I like Anna? Because I don't know if we're seeing Anna. I don't know if everything I dislike about her is what she's been told to do as the series gone on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly, you know, like you've said, I absolutely can't stand the girl. But I have questioned myself and saying, she surely can't be like this all the time. I genuinely don't believe that she's that hypocritical and sort of two-faced all the time. I think she has a moral code she sticks to, whether I like it or not. That's her way, and that's it, whether you like it or not. And I respect that, I really do. But I've been questioning myself because I know I've been critical of her a lot and said like she really doesn't have any. The way she dealt with Ovi and that was terrible. But that was, it showed it as if within 30 seconds of pieing off Ovi, she went straight upstairs and was snogging Jordan's face off and all this. And it was like, I don't buy it. And she comes across hypocritical. But we've seen with Big Brother in the past and stuff like that, Joe, that they've wrecked people's careers or potential careers and lives by just editing it totally one way.
Well, did you see last night, though? This is where I'm not sure whether she really is like that or not. When she was saved and she went back essentially to the lineup, and was it Curtis who was stood next to her who like went, oh yeah, sorry about that, I'm glad you, or whatever, and she made some snide remark like, oh yeah, whatever, because he hadn't picked her to stay. And it's little shades of that I think, yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
But it's the other bit that she's doing because she's been told to. I think little bits of her seep through, and we are being shown all this into, frankly, one big bloody mess. She doesn't seem like a nice person at all.
No, she doesn't, to be fair. And I think, like you mentioned before, just got to go back to Belle as well, is she's looked really, really nice. And then, like you say, I've watched Towie since the start. I can't stand Gemma Collins at the best of times. I respect what she does for earning the money and that. She's not daft. She's a very good businesswoman. But I can't stand the whole GC arrogance thing and all that she does. But it makes a lot of money. She gets on telly. Whatever you think of her, she earns a lot of money, that girl. So I've got total respect for her. Belle, she has got one hell of a temper. And Anton, he's going to be forever scared of her, I think, if things carry on, because she was not stand any messing. And I think she was right to have a go at him because of what we saw with that pretend waitress and everything, and shopkeeper. I just don't know whether to believe it now.
Here's what I'm furious about, though, because after I did Love Island cast a few weeks ago, weren't you and I, me, you and Dave, we were talking about how great Anton was and how he's the bit of a dark horse. I went and put a few quid on him winning. And now I'm like, oh, God, what did I do that for? Because now I don't think he's got open else chance of winning.
No, I don't think he has. I genuinely don't think he has. But stranger things have happened, Joe, because you're totally right. I find that in each couple, there's one person that I like or semi-like, and the other one I just don't. So you might not be far off. There's still enough time for him to swing it back and confirm his ever-dying love for Belle, and he might just turn. But, yeah, I think it's probably about, I don't know, maybe 10-1 or something like that for him to win, I would have thought.
I got 7-1. I was quite pleased, and now I'm like, oh, God, what did I do that for? Stupid fool. So here's a question to you, Chris.
Yeah.
Snog, marry, pie. Snog,
marry, pie. Now I've got to be very careful here, Joe, because my missus listens to this. So
you see, it's not easy. I felt sorry for them all.
No. All right, then I'll go with Curtis. No, I don't know.
He'd let you as well.
I know who he would like to marry, Joe, but it's definitely not me. Can I just move quickly on from that one? So I don't.
Yes, you can, Chris. Tell me later.
You've done very well there, very well, Joe. You put me right on the spot. Now, can I ask you as well, Joe? I'm moving very quickly on. We got asked a few weeks ago, and someone said to us, like, really like the show and everything, but it'd be great to have a female perspective on the show. And obviously, you have been on previously. Do you think, and you can be completely honest, it's no problem, but some of the way we are, me and Dave, and we just take the piss, basically, but it at times not that it needs it, but it's nice to have a different perspective, because we have Asa on, a friend of ours. We've had yourself and we've had Ed on, a listener, and I'm more curious to see how people, especially a female audience. My wife pretty much agrees with me, not because what I say goes. She'll tell me, obviously, if she thinks someone else. But what do you think? Do you think we've been close or two-way off with some of our sort of comments or predictions?
No, I think you both of you will give an opinion that somebody is thinking, that is for sure. And every time I listen, I agree with one of you. And I mean, I think I may have even said this last time we were on. I watch Love Island and I'm ashamed to be a woman a lot of the time. And also, I tell you what, this series as well has made me feel old.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Especially with the Belle thing last night with Anton. I've gone, oh, God. I'm too old to listen to this shit. It's like, calm down, you kids, you're all kids. And that's what it makes me feel. And I think you bang on between the two of you and whoever guest you've got on, you are bang on. You avoid the snog, marry or pie question. However, that's my only grumble, darling, with your podcast.
I maybe have to ask it Dave. He might be a bit more honest, to be honest. No, it's been great. It's been good again, Joe. You've totally put me on the spot now. I'm not often I'm lost for words, but Chris is actually also lost for words for a change. Now,
tweet me later.
I will. I'll message you later. Now, also, just out of interest, have you started listening to the USA or watching the USA Love Island?
I have not. And now I was talking to Dave on Twitter about this and saying, let me know where to find it. However, I just feel like, because I go on holiday in 2 weeks, I feel like I cannot commit to another series so quickly. So the fact that you boys are on to this already, I'm giving you an A+ for your commitment there. That's amazing. Where are you watching it?
It may be a link that we got sent, but
oh, okay, fine. So it's not on. No. I can't just Google it.
No. You can Google it. I think through YouTube you can actually subscribe to like a CBS thing, which I don't really agree. It's only on for 4 weeks, the US one, so it's not. It's on 5 days a week, not 6 like the UK one. So it's on for 4 weeks. We're a week in already, which was 4 episodes we had last week when it started on Tuesday night, I think it was. Now, they're in Fiji, Joe, which is a miles better setting than the UK. You know, the UK villa looks amazing and it's in Mallorca. It's really nice, but they have had some bad weather. But with the American one, they don't hold back. We're 4 episodes in. There's been a couple of lulls in that, but it's gone off a couple of times with people. And there's been, if they're going to pair up, they just pair up in the American one. It's interesting.
It does sound right up my street. And I've heard really good things about Australia as well.
Oh, Australia's the best. We watched it. I didn't know they did an Australian one. Last year, me and Sam were decorating our bedroom, and we always have reality stuff. And I know I should be like, I love all me violence, gangster stuff and all me action films. But when it comes to watching TV, I just want to watch reality stuff. We were watching, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood yesterday, season 5, because we pay for that Hey You. And we sat there and I'm like Ray J and all these other people, Brandy and that. And I'm like totally engrossed in it because they're like grabbing each other's hair weaves and throwing drinks at each other and like having a fight and all the crap. They're proper. And we're watching that. So we put the Australian one on thinking, it's going to be rubbish. Same music. They were actually in, not the same villa, but they were actually in Mallorca. And they sent them to Mallorca last year. I'll tell you what, Joe, it was so bad. It was just proper cutting and it went off all the time. The security were called. 2 of the lads had a fight twice in there, off camera. Yeah, there was proper, a lad called Grant and I think it was Ethan or someone like that. And this Ethan had, after he left the villa, the girl he was with, he had to get the police involved because he was dead controlling. He was, it's really bad. Oh, God, yeah, he really, really... I don't condone that, but what I mean is for the actual shock and it sort of ramped the UK one up. So that's being filmed in September, and I'm hoping they reckon we might get it around October time, something like that. So obviously me and Dave are going to be on it, but I'll keep an eye out because it was on ITVB which is brilliant. Oh yeah, definitely keep me posted. But you see, this is why I think that this one, our series this year, I don't think they've wanted any lulls. I think they have gone, okay, we can't have a boring episode, so we've got to create stuff. Let's create, instead of actually just waiting to see whether things naturally might happen. Like, I even believe that they created the Curtis, you should probably dump Amy situation. Yeah, I do. Because
they want a lull. They don't want a lull in any episode, so they've just made stuff happen instead of waiting for things, because things will naturally happen over the course of 8 weeks between people who don't know each other. Like, they'll get some good stuff, but I just don't think they've been patient enough, so they've made it all up.
I think that's a very good point. Organically, something should just happen and flow. It's like any relationship. Michael and Amber's, I believe, more than anyone's, that seemed like they were friends. They were just sort of like the only two left. They weren't really interested in each other. And then organically, they just came together. And that just seemed really, really genuine. I just think he's coming across, Michael, as a bit of a bella. And he keeps saying it. Like, Joanna even called him out, to be fair. She said, there's no way you could just switch your emotions off. He's been so cold towards Amber. I just don't buy it at all.
It's that whole thing is a bit of a weird one for me. But I don't care about him. I don't dislike him necessarily, but I don't care enough. I hope he goes tonight. I hope he volunteers to go, even if Joanna's voted off. I don't think he will, like we said earlier, but no. I hope he does. And I really hope, as you get older in a relationship, you want somebody who makes you laugh more than anything else in the world. And Amber has already got that with Ovi. She beams at that man. She laughs her head off at him. And I just think, I think I've said this before about Amber. In 5 years' time, don't regret Ovi. Don't miss out on him, because you will want to settle down with somebody like that man that you look at and laugh at. And so I need Michael out of the bloody way. I need him out of the villa quick, because I want them to get together and I want them to win, despite having a little wager on Anton down the book.
Yes, and I'm in total agreement with you, Joe. I've said that. I think they're definitely my favourites. Now,
yeah, they're lovely together.
Joe, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. And I will be telling you who I'm going to snog, marry and pie afterwards. No, well, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I'm going to throw that question out to Dave. I'm sure he'll be a bit more honest than me.
Can't wait to hear the reply.
Neither can I, actually. No, but where can everyone get you? Where can everyone get hold of you on your podcast as well, especially?
I secretly recorded my boyfriend. We are at Recorded Boyf on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Actually, we've got 5 podcasts on the go, but we will tell you all about that if you come over to ours as well. And thank you so much, darling, for having me on.
No, you're a star. But hopefully we've got 10 days. If we can get you on again before it ends, it'd be really nice to sort of end the whole series of these podcasts with you, Joe. So we really appreciate all your help and coming on and that.
Sure, I would be more than willing to. Loved it.
Oh, great stuff. So thank you, everyone. I've got nothing to end the podcast with today because Dave isn't here. So we'll see you tomorrow with another Love Island cast. Take care.